Buildings now give us the shape of every piece of glass in the cathedral, so we have complete details of every one single piece of stained glass in St Mel's Cathedral.
Each part of the complex glass jigsaw is now being assembled at Abbey Stained Glass, so that when Longford's cathedral is restored to its former glory, the Harry Clarke studio windows will shine once again.
We take great satisfaction in the work. We have been associated with Harry Clarke's stained glass for the last 25 years, carrying out restoration throughout Ireland. And it's more than our bread and butter. We really just get great satisfaction from doing this work.
We hope to be back at St Mel's Cathedral when the restoration is complete and to see those windows in Longford once again. Now, Harry Clarke produced two pieces of work that are not religious in any way. One of them we've already seen in the Hugh Lane Gallery. The other one is called the Geneva Window. You won't find it in Geneva, and that's a matter of controversy to this day.
In 1925, the emerging Irish state was becoming a conservative Catholic society. The Irish government approached Harry Clarke to create a window that would be presented as a gift from the people of Ireland to the new International Labour Office in Geneva. Harry designed sensuous but bawdy depictions of scenes from our most famous writers' works, completely out of step with how Middle Ireland saw itself. Harry Clarke's studio at North Frederick Street in Dublin is now a drug rehab centre, but on the walls are prints from the Geneva Window. It was this depiction of a scene from a Liam O'Flaherty story that offended the government.
There were a lot of problems with O'Flaherty. He was a communist, he had run away with the wife of a Trinity professor, and he also wrote about seedy brothels and this kind of stuff, so he wasn't flavour of the month at all. The O'Flaherty panel is slightly scandalous for the times, and that this woman is naked doing a kind of a Salome-type Dance of the Seven Veils for this degenerate, debauched sort of figure in the background, Mr. Gilhooly. This one here, Seamus O'Sullivan's The Others, where this satyr figure is holding the hand of a rather unsuspecting earthling over his privates. He's wearing nothing between his thigh-high boots and his bolero jacket. Over here we have an illustration of the love scene between Christy Mahan and Peggy Mike from Playboy of the Western World by Sing. As you see here, between his fingers, that's not a flower.
W.T. Cosgrave's government was aware that conservative Catholic groups were just waiting for a chance to be outraged.
Government representatives visited him at his studios to have a look at what he was doing at some point when his initial sketch was done, and asked him to change some. He changed some somewhat and others not at all. He was chancing his arm a bit, and he reckoned that if he could just get it out there to Geneva, there'd be no problem. The government, I would say personally, by and large, didn't care too much at all, but they did care about votes. Therefore, they rejected the window.
The Geneva Window was now an official embarrassment.
They installed it in an anteroom to the chamber where the cabinet, the Executive Council of those days, used to meet. They had a look at it, weren't happy with what they saw, closed the door and locked it.
After Harry's death in 1931, his widow Margaret bought back the Geneva Window from the new Fianna Fáil government for £450.
Margaret was very sad about the whole thing. She felt that the government, and said so to them, that they had treated Harry very badly, and that she felt very keenly the insult to her husband in the whole transaction.
Eventually, the ownership of the Geneva Window passed to Harry Clarke's sons, David and Michael. Further attempts to sell it to buyers in Ireland, even at a knockdown price, came to nothing. Disappointed by the rejection once again, the brothers decided to spirit the window out of Ireland and try and find a buyer abroad. And today, the Geneva Window is on display at the Wolfsonian Museum in Miami Beach, Florida, bought in 1988 for £150,000 sterling.
I saw it in Miami, and the first time, it's a few years ago now, I walked in and I saw it standing there. It was, the tears rolled down my face, because I could see such a familiar beauty from the beginning of my life, there somehow in isolation. And I felt it was a bit of Ireland stuck very far away. And then I thought, you're a silly Egypt, because actually, for heaven's sake, so many people are now seeing it.
But there was still the small matter of that belated birthday gift to the International Labour Office.
They were tapped on the shoulder in the 1950s and told, International Labour Office is now building an extension. Would you now like to contribute something towards this? So eventually, after another several years of toing and froing, indecision, etc., they actually got Sean Keating, an old classmate in the Dublin Metropolitan School of Art, to do a mural, and he did scenes from Ireland's economic progress. It's agriculture, machinery, it's sort of social realism, it's almost Soviet realism. It's Ireland struggling to build itself up, which would probably, by and large, have been far closer to how most people saw what they were trying to do at the time.
But it's Harry Clarke's work that has sort of become timeless and ever more admired, a source of some pride within the Clarke family.
We grew up as children, as his grandchildren, being very aware of art and colour. It was just all around us. I always thought, because of the beauty, that I like to think we grew up under his rainbow.
Inside the chapel of the former Presentation Convent, now on D-shirt, where there's not one, not two, there are 6 glorious Harry Clarke windows. And members of the Cullen Costigan family have travelled from Wexford to join us here to talk about some other elements of their Harry Clarke project. We're joined by Teresa Cullen, sister of Lucy, and also by her son Michael, who was the photographer for the project. Now, you must, as a family, Teresa, have a huge regard and respect for this lovely work.
Well, Lucy for many years would have spoken about Harry Clarke and the beauty of his windows, and I didn't really realise it until I decided to go with her one day to have a look at them, and I was just amazed at the beauty of the windows. The colours are so vibrant, the reds and blues in particular, and most of the windows are covered with patterns here and there in them, and I was just smitten by them.
And Clarke is known for detail. It's like a dressmaker. Just details in the dresses, details everywhere. And if you look at other stained glass windows compared with Clarke, Clarke's just detail, detail, detail in his windows. That's what makes his work so unique.
What's the difference between the book and the DVD?
The DVD would be based on the book, The Stranger's Genius, and it would portray the life and work of Harry Clarke, and it depicts many of Harry Clarke's spectacular stained glass windows. And as we see here in Deshert, some of the amazing windows which would also be included in this documentary. The film documentary is available online from the website www.harryclarke.net.
So that's the DVD, which kind of complements the book. And Michael, as well as all the photography, you're responsible for a new website.
Yeah, the new website granted by the Heritage Council of Ireland. It's www.harryclarke.net. It's the first time ever the whole Harry Clarke collection is going to be available online. And it's the same as the book. The huge, unique collection of Harry Clarke. And we have a thing on the website called Zoomify, where when people click on an image, you can zoom in and see the smallest details.
Now, just before we finish, the website that you have designed has not gone online yet, and you are affording us the honour of launching it on Nationwide. So you better take it up there, Michael. And what do you do? I suppose I'll crack the champagne, and what do? You
can press the button then.
Okay.
Let's put it in the middle somewhere.
So, consider it launched, the Harry Clarke website on Nationwide. And so we've come to the end of this evening's programme. I have to say, I really enjoyed learning more about the creative genius of Harry Clarke and seeing some of that lovely stained glass. He truly was one of our great Irish artists. And if you'd like to have a look at a Harry Clarke window, well, we're going to put the locations on the nationwide website. So, tá deir leis lár mar sin, I wahagibh on t-shirt, sa dangan in Weltat Curie.
And on next Wednesday's programme, a familiar sight on our streets at Christmas, the volunteers collecting for Share, which now celebrates its 40th anniversary. The County Westmeath Food Company making inroads into the international market. And it's all in the mind, you know. We meet a Cork man who has made a career out of seeming to read your mind.